Do you know what gets people arguing almost more than knives and ferro rods? Mosquito repellent. Now everybody's got their favorite mosquito repellent. Some people love DEET. Other people ain't gonna touch it because they're scared it's gonna cause skin cancer. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you got folks that the only thing they wanna use is something natural like American Beautyberry or Dogfennel. So today we're gonna cut through the myths and I'm gonna show you a bunch of different products and some old time remedies that actually work. Now, if you spent any time in the woods, mosquitoes can actually ruin your trip. Now, the trick is to find out which one of these is gonna work best for you. Let's start with the one that everybody knows, DEET, Deep Woods Off. You got different name brands, all kinds of different name brands, but the problem with this is 30% DEET. You can get it all the way up to 100% DEET, but this right here is going to ruin some plastics in your gear. It's going to start melting. I wear Crocs around camp, and if you squirt this on your feet, it will melt the plastic of the Crocs. But this stuff really does work. It is very effective, and it will absolutely 100% keep all the mosquitoes away from you. Now, next up, you have Picaridin, however you want to pronounce it. And this stuff is a lot better. It doesn't have that oily feel. It does not ruin your plastics. It don't ruin your gear. And you can squirt it all over you, and it's a little bit, I don't know if it's safer. But there's plenty of conversations within the primitive camping and bushcraft group about DEET and the effects of DEET and Picaridin, however you wish to pronounce this stuff. Now, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm out in the woods and I'm fishing or I'm camping or I'm hiking or something like that, I'm more than likely gonna use either some DEET or Picaridin. Those two are awesome methods to keep the skitter bugs off. But there is something else that you could pre-treat your clothing with, and that is the odorless permethrin. I got this on clearance at Walmart. That stuff is amazing. You just squirt your clothes down in it, let it dry, and you're good for several washes. It helps keep the ticks at bay, and I think it actually kills the ticks, but this stuff will actually help keep the mosquitoes at bay as well. Now, you can also go by a local feed store. You know, I've used this for many years, if you cannot tell. And this is permethrin, 10% permethrin. This right here is, let's see, 0.5%. All right, so you have to dilute this stuff down. You dilute it down, you saturate your clothes. Now, this is the same stuff that we used whenever I was in the military. When we would get deployed somewhere, we would have to soak our uniforms in this permethrin and then let them dry out. And it was good for like 10 washes or 20 washes or something like that. And it would keep all the skeeter bugs and the ticks and everything. Now, let's talk about the Thermacell. This has to be one of the most talked about mosquito repellents on the market today. And I've been using one of these for years. Inside this unit is a pad. Now, you see this little blue thing right here? That is a little pad. Now, what this pad does is it gets heated up, and we're gonna get into all the mechanics of it. It heats up and it releases alethrin, and like I said, I'll put it on the screen here, and that puts out a radius around 15 to 20 feet. And if you're sitting in camp or whatnot, these things are great because it just keeps the mosquitoes at bay for a certain radius. This little unit is powered by these little cartridges. It's either propane or butane. And these things are awesome because you just take the cap off and it screws right in there. Once you take your cap off, you just screw that dude inside this unit, and then you turn it on and you can hear a hissing noise. And that hissing noise is going to let you know, hey, it's working. And then there's a clicker. You press that button and you'll hear it light. And then there's also a viewfinder here, so you can look and see an orange glow. This thing runs off of like a glow plug technology. And so you can look through there and see that it is actually working. And after about 10 minutes, this is not instant. So if you're looking for an instant, you want to use a spray or something to that effect. But after about 10 minutes or so, you'll start seeing a little mist coming off of here, and then it'll start creating that bubble. One of the things that people don't realize about the Thermacell, and they get aggravated with it, is that this is not an instant product. This is, like I was mentioning just a minute ago, this is not going to instantly get the mosquitoes off of you. This is something that's going to take a little while. It's got to build up a concentration in the zone around you. And also, if you're sitting in the wind or you're sitting out and there's a heavy breeze, it's not going to be very effective. It's going to blow your zone away, and it will come back. You know, it'll eventually come around as it gets still around your camp, but it's going to blow that stuff away. This is the Backpacker model, and it works exactly the same way. And it uses the same pads, it uses the same fuel. The only thing is the cartridge is different. Now, you could use this cartridge. You're already carrying one of these if you've got a propane stove. And I got the smaller one of these for this unit. But if you are going to go into the woods and you're using propane for a jet boil or something like that, you already have the propane. This is not going to use a lot of this. So this little 6-ounce bottle, 3.9 ounce bottle, I'm sorry, is going to last forever with this Thermacell. Now, the beautiful thing that I like about this is that you could buy just the regular pads, and that's what this box right here is for. You could buy the regular pads for it, and you could just put a pad in as you need it, and it will go ahead and make that bubble. Now, I will put this around camp. I put this in my boat. You know, when I've been out bass fishing and you're slowly trolling around or whatnot, you set it in the bottom of the boat and it keeps the mosquitoes away while you're fishing. Because I have these, would I quit carrying DEET? Absolutely not. DEET has a purpose. Picaridin has a purpose, and all these items right here all have a purpose, and they serve different functions. If you're walking through the woods, the spray is going to be what you need. If you're just sitting around camp or you're somewhere kind of still and you just need a bubble, but you don't want all the stuff on you, then these are perfectly for what you need. I bring a little bit of both with me everywhere I go. Now, there's another one that Flextail Gear or Flextail makes, and this is the Tiny Repel. And this little dude right here has dual purpose. It is a lamp or lantern, and it will continue to get brighter till it turns off. And then this side, it'll turn on. You see the green light here? It'll turn this on. It has pads in there, and it comes in this little thing, this pack here. It kind of looks like condoms, but you put these pads in here. It's the same active ingredient that's in the Thermacell. So you take these pads, stick them dudes in there like that, and then hang this up, and you have a mosquito repellent, and you have a lantern to go with it. But this is battery operated. This is battery rechargeable. You can recharge this with a USB-C and a brick. Now, if you've watched my videos for any length of time, you know that Dogfennel is a dual purpose weed. It is very pungent. It has a real pungent smell, but also the smell, you can rub this weed on you. Let's show you what it looks like. It looks like this. It kind of looks like a dill, but it's not a dill. But this is Dogfennel. And you can rub this stuff on you just like this. And it will help keep the insects away from you. It's not going to keep you 100%, but it will help prevent them. You could take this and you could put it on a burning coals. I've done several videos on this. You could take some coals, scoop them to the side from your fire, and set green Dogfennel on top of it, and the vapor will kind of do like the Thermacell does, but with a Dogfennel smell. Now, another one that's been used for centuries is the American Beautyberry. Now, this stuff, you may recognize this in the late summer. It has a bunch of little berries all the way around it. They're completely edible. You can make jellies out of it or whatnot. They're purple. They're like a lavenderish, purplish color. But this stuff right here is a very pungent odor to it as well. And you can use the oils in this leaf. You can soak it in some 90% alcohol, isopropyl alcohol or grain alcohol. And you can, isopropyl, sorry. And you can take this and then you can let it sit for a couple of weeks, and it turns the repellent green. So don't use it on a white t-shirt, because you'll squirt that on there. The alcohol will evaporate, but it'll leave the oils from the plant on you, and it will actually keep the mosquito bugs away. Now, the pioneers used this whenever they were traveling, and they would gather it all up and they would put it where their horses bedded to keep the biting insects away from the horses. And this stuff was actually used as a mosquito. They would plant this around their farms or their homesteads and keep the mosquitoes and keep the flies and other insects away. My 100% top pick is going to be the Thermacell for whenever I'm in camp. I've used it when I was fishing, just laid it in the bottom of the boat. And out in South Mississippi, the mosquitoes are ridiculous. So I have done that. But Thermacell is going to be my top pick every time. Anywhere I go, I'm taking a Thermacell with me. So, hey, I hope this video was informative. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, join the Bushcraft. Hey, I hope this video was. Hey, I hope you learned. I hope this video was helpful in some fashion. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Join the group at Primitive Camping and Bushcraft on Facebook. Get involved with the discussion. We have discussions like this about different things. There's 73,000 of us talking about it every single day of the week. And if you love the great outdoors, jump into the group, Primitive Camping. I'll leave a link in the description of this video below. Remember, in all your ways, acknowledge him. And like a compass, he is going to direct your path. I'll see you next time. God bless you.